what is going on? This is the Alex Gem Experience. This is an unbelievable topic that we have to explore in great detail. I think it's completely underutilized by human beings. So before we get straight into it, let me tell you something. If you had the potential to consume a magic pill, if you will, bear with me. Suspend your disbelief for a moment. If you had a moment and you could have a magic pill, and this magic pill would help you to live longer, it would increase your energy levels, it would make you look younger, it would improve your well-being, you would essentially be able to lose more weight because it would improve the clarity of your thinking, and it's something that you could just consume immediately and get the benefits from it without putting much effort into it. Well, ladies and gents, your body has the ability to do this on its own. And today's podcast is about autophagy. So let me break this down. Firstly, this is the structure of the podcast today. We're going to break down what autophagy actually is. We're going to look at the benefits firstly. We always look at why we do things first to get you guys aroused, if you will. Not in that kind of way, calm down. And also to explore how to activate and support or boost autophagy. And that will take the bulk of this podcast because there are so many different things that you can do to improve and boost and activate autophagy. So let's break this down. What is autophagy? Well, the word auto simply means the self, okay? And phagy, P-H-A-G-Y, simply means to eat. So when you put these two terms together, it means self-eating. And that's essentially what this whole process is about. So a little bit of science here. It's not going to last too long. Autophagy simply triggers something called AMP, activated protein kinase, okay? And this is just an enzyme that helps to balance energy within our bodies. So an AMP is only activated when the body has to generate its own source of energy. All right, I'll say that again. It has to generate its own energy. And I'll talk to you a bit about that in a moment. So this is essentially when your body learns to eat itself. I know it sounds quite gruesome, sounds a little bit crazy, but our bodies are so complicated. It's absolutely magnificent what our own bodies, if you only knew and broke down the science of what your body has to do without your conscious awareness, you would be astonished. It would improve your spirituality or even your religious beliefs, whatever you may believe already. It would take it to all new heights. Because we have, let me just break down and give you some statistics here. Now, within your brain has 100 billion neurons in it. Okay? Your brain produces 700 new neurons, not existing, new neurons in the hippocampus within your limbic brain every single day. Okay? Your body produces 10 million cells every single second. It also loses the same amount, but we'll let that one slide. Every single one of these cells, okay, goes through 100,000 different chemical reactions in a second. Are you kidding me? This is incredible. Your brain is the most powerful tool and organ in the entire universe. Okay? Your heart pumps over 2 gallons of blood every single second. Within the hour, your heart can pump over 100 gallons. This is astonishing stuff, guys. Absolutely astonishing. I believe that even one cell has, within the DNA within a cell, the amount of chemical reactions that go on, if you were to turn these chemical reactions into pieces of paper, I believe you can produce dozens of books worth, 600 pages in each book, one on top of the other. It's just astonishing the amount of what your cells are able to generate and do on a continual basis is absolutely remarkable. And speaking of the body being remarkable, our body has the ability to heal itself. That's true. That's correct. So your body is able to eat itself. When we have strong, healthy cells, right? And when you activate and boost autophagy, it essentially starts to consume our weaker cells. So say if you've already got existing cells that have been harmed, its DNA has been compromised, it's quite weak. What it does is you've got these really strong, I call them alpha cells. And this happens in your brain as well with your neurons. These alpha cells come along and say, and have a look at these other cells that are weak, compromised, and say, listen, you're weak. I'm going to eat you. I'm going to consume your proteins. I'm going to consume your water. I'm going to consume everything that you've got, whatever's relatively useful. And it consumes these cells. And then these already strong cells become super cells, if you will. That's right. Imagine the game Pac-Man, you know, when that little face comes and just starts chomping and eating things when it travels along. That's what happens when you enter autophagy. It's like a vacuum going around just consuming, eating all these other cells that aren't as useful or beneficial for our bodies. And this is what we want. I know it sounds sad. Oh, bless, we live in such a sensitive culture. Don't you feel sorry for the weak cells? No, we want our bodies to be optimized. We want our bodies to be strong. Okay, and this is the whole point. It's survival of the fittest. It's a natural process within our own bodies. It's when our body learns to consume its own tissue. That's what's happening during autophagy. And, you know, now we move on to talking about the benefits. I mean, I outlined a few at the onset on this podcast. But it improves our overall well-being, guys. There's nothing more important in life than feeling healthier, looking sexier, looking younger, feeling more vital, having more energy, living longer. I mean, isn't that the key to success? The key to success, like if at the end of our lives we look back, and what determines the quality of our lives? Well, I know this is quite subjective, but I would personally say that you lived a quality life if you lived long, if you lived with minimal stress, if you managed to do the things that you love doing as long as possible. To me, that epitomizes success, okay? That is the overall definition to me. Everyone's might be different. That's absolutely fine. And that's what autophagy enables us to do. It improves our immunity. It improves our skin. It gives us more energy. It improves our cognitive function. It improves how our brain works. It leads to clearer thoughts, clearer thinking. And that's when we do our best thinking. So autophagy not only makes you look sexier, feel sexier, it makes your brain function better. I mean, are you kidding me? It cleanses the body. It gets rid of toxins. So what happens is, actually, I'll talk about this later on when I go through some specific examples, but it's essentially anti-aging. It increases the longevity of our lives. It improves mental focus. It replenishes the body. And to me, personally, this is one of the best things we could possibly do on a regular basis. So now you know what autophagy is. Now you understand the numerous benefits that we can gain through autophagy. We can now break down step by step certain things that we can do on a daily basis or weekly or monthly basis to really support and boost this natural process. So first thing is first, we've got intermittent fasting. That's right. What is intermittent fasting? Well, the longer you can utilize this intermittent fasting, the better it is. You have all kinds of benefits through intermittent fasting. It suppresses your appetite over time. You can live longer. It supports your digestive system because, one of the most tiring things that we can do is to eat and digest food. It's actually more tiring than doing things like exercising or having sex. That's right. Just simply digesting a big meal is extremely taxing on our body. It requires so much energy just to digest the foods that we eat. And when we're intermittent fasting, we're pretty much most likely to just have one or two, or if you're going to cramp it in during the short window that you're going to have for eating and consuming calories, you can only have a few meals a day, 2 or 3 meals a day. That means for most of the day, your body is simply relaxing. That enables more energy to go to your brain. That enables you to focus better, and so on and so forth. So intermittent fasting is magnificent. It supports natural testosterone amongst men. It's absolutely brilliant for weight loss, for fat loss. I personally feel like it will shrink your stomach naturally, so that you don't eat as much. Essentially, you get fuller quite easier. But anyways, apart from losing weight and these sort of things, intermittent fasting is brilliant for autophagy. Okay. So what is intermittent fasting and how can you start to benefit from it? Well, really, it's about not consuming any sort of calories for at least 16 hours. Okay? Now, I know this sounds a lot. You're thinking, whoa, Alex, 16 hours, dude. 16 hours without food? What are you trying to do to me? Listen, hold on. Let me give you an example. And it's not as bad as you think. Say if you finish eating 8 o'clock in the evening, right? You go sleep hopefully for 8 hours. I've already taught the importance of sleep, what it does to your brain function, delaying illnesses, making you smarter, making you not overly eat, and so on and so forth. But say if you slept for 8 hours. So say if you went to bed at, say, 11 o'clock at night and you woke up at 7, right? All I'm saying is don't have breakfast. That's pretty much it. You can eat at noon, you can have an early lunch at, say, 1 o'clock or whatever it is that you want to do. All it means, like, you can still drink fluids with intermittent fasting. You can still have a black coffee, you can still have green tea, you can still drink a lot of water, and so on and so forth. I teach the importance of intermittent fasting in other videos, but I'm not going to break it down too much now. But intermittent fasting is fantastic for autophagy because the body starts to kind of freak out, and that's what we want. The body's going, whoa, we've got no energy coming in. You know, I've got no actual any sugars, no carbs coming in, no proteins. I've got nothing to work with. And so your body kind of freaks out and is like, well, I guess if we don't have food, we've got to survive. So it starts to essentially learn to eat itself, and it eats the useless part of ourselves. And that's what we want, so that we're left with the best cells, the most rejuvenated, the strongest, healthiest cells. They're the ones that live on. And that's what we want, to be honest with you. So intermittent fasting is absolutely wonderful for us. Let's continue, shall we? Next, now this is a little bit extreme. It's a little bit serious, hence why I left it for after intermittent fasting. So I personally recommend that you get medical advice, seek medical assistance from a professional like your doctor and so on and so forth. Because now I'm going to talk about dry fasting. And it's not for everyone. And it can be intense. Like I literally, as I'm doing this podcast now, I did eat a little bit late last night. I ate about 10:30 last night because I had a very busy day, and it's the only time I quickly ate something. It's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm doing this podcast. And I did a dry fast from, let's say, 11 o'clock last night up until 3 o'clock today. That's a dry fast. No water, no fluids whatsoever. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And if you get a little bit of a headache or things along those lines, or become a bit fatigued, that's part of the process to an extent, especially if you're having withdrawal symptoms from like coffee or sugars, and you know your insulin resistance is quite high, generally speaking, then you might struggle a little bit more. But you're meant to be a little bit fatigued here, because the body's starting to go within itself and starting to draw upon, it's kind of freaking out and it's going, what the hell can I use? And it's only relying on its own cells, its own like useless substances that it can consume and use to its own advantage, if you will. So, it's 3 o'clock. For the last 2 hours, I've gone back to normal intermittent fasting. Whilst I do this podcast, now I'm drinking water and I'm having coffee now, black coffee. So I'm still fasting, doing my intermittent fasting phase, if you will. I'm going to go do a gym workout. I don't know why I said gym workout, you know what I mean. 2 hours from now, and then I'll have my first meal in the evening. Now I don't always do this, I do this once a week, and I don't always do the dry fasting part of it. I personally do dry fasting about 1 or 2 times every single month, because I know the benefits like I'm outlining now. So once you fast for say 24 hours, you've got autophagy, which are increased within your body by 300%. This is what we want. This is what enables your healthy cells to consume the useless things. And what you'll notice when you do dry fasting, you'll still need to pee quite a lot. And this is what your body's doing when it does go to the toilet to urinate. You still kind of and you're going to be really dehydrated, right? You're going to probably have really dark yellow pee. Sorry for this. I'm going to just be honest with you. And what this is doing is your body is releasing dirty water. It's peeing out the dirty water within your body. And that is fantastic for us. Not only is it peeing out the dirty water, but we're already losing the weak cells like I addressed earlier. Guys, this is exceptional for our health, exceptional for our bodies, exceptional for our brains. Right? We need to be capitalizing on this wonderful natural process. Because this is when your body needs to create its own energy. So it starts eating itself like I outlined earlier. So dry fasting, one session of dry fasting, such as what I've done today, is 3 times more powerful than your traditional intermittent fasting. In terms of autophagy, in terms of cleansing, in terms of what it does for our health. It is tremendous. So really consider doing a dry fast. You've got what's called a soft dry fast, which means that you can still like brush your teeth and have a shower and wash your hands or what have you. And these sort of things. Or you can do a hard dry fast, which means you abstain from any contact with water for as long as possible. Well, not for as long as possible, but 16 hours or above would be great, ideal. I know it sounds pretty extreme, and I can understand why that would feels unhygienic in many ways, and I get that. Me personally, I experiment with both, because when you shower or when you brush your teeth and these sort of things, the water is still entering your pores. So therefore, you're still giving your body some kind of water. And therefore, you're not going to relinquish and emit as many unhealthy cells and dirty water as you could have if you did a hard dry fast. So anyway, it's up to you what you want to do, man. Seek professional advice, because I'm not advocating that people just willy-nilly go and off and do this. Really be careful. Think about this. See if you're capable of doing this sort of thing. If you've got certain needs, like if you're diabetic and these sort of things, you might want to seek professional help. But I know what dry fasting can do. It's magnificent. So we now move on to another benefit, and I touched upon this earlier, and it's the importance of sleep and sleeping well. Because, trust me, I've gone through all kinds of phases in my life. Like when I was launching my business and I was still working as a full-time teacher, and I was still learning and growing my property portfolio in its infancy, while still learning and developing my subject knowledge and doing this and that and the other and still living a normal life. I significantly reduced how much I was sleeping. And I did that for a few years, like 2-3 years. I would be sleeping on average about 5 to 6 hours every day. And it was an incredible sacrifice. And I kind of had to do it to an extent. When you're looking to make such an immense change in your life, I gave up the ultimate sacrifice, and that was sleep. As well as other sacrifices, of course. But sleep was one of the things that had to go. Simply because I didn't have enough hours in the day to work full-time as a teacher, to work on my business and my method back then, my strategy was, when I was working as a teacher, I'd have to give more energy / more time to my business in the same day as I was working. So you can imagine the kind of pressure I put on myself then. But as I started to, grow my businesses, grow my investments, not feel so much pressure, and starting to learn even more about the importance of sleep, I realized that I need to be sleeping at least 7.5 to 8 hours every single day, because it's absolutely tremendous what sleep does for you. Sleep is probably the best thing. When people ask me, Alex, what's the best thing I can do to become more successful, to become healthier, to learn more quickly, to adapt and change my routines in my life? Sleep is one of the best things I advocate. So sleep activates youthfulness within our cells. It actually enables us to recycle at a cellular level. We want to at least have between 1.5 cycles of sleep rhythms every single time we go to bed. And that's key. So really, generally speaking, you want to sleep for 8 to 8.5 hours on a daily basis. Now, I know that's impractical for many people. Some people wake up really early. Some people go sleep too late. And, I understand our job impositions. And if we have children or what have you, or if we have to do a lot of traveling, I get it. I understand the stress. But that can't be a long-term plan. Being sleep deprived, most people's studies show that most people are now sleeping 6 hours or less consistently, and that does incredible harm to our brain. It ruins and harms our brain cells. You can actually become less intelligent by sleeping less over time. You eat more and eat worse foods when you're not sleeping well. You have a foggier brain. You're less likely to remember things that you're learning, important things that support your career, your business, your job, or whatever you really like learning about. You're less likely to remember things because of poor sleep. I'll go on and on about sleep and the importance of sleep in different podcasts and in different videos. So go check it out elsewhere. So I'm not going to dive into it too deep. But sleep will really support autophagy. It's worth checking out. And now, next, I want to talk to you about the importance of having a caloric deficit. Okay, a caloric deficit. So, men, we're expected to consume on average, say, 2,500 calories a day. Women about 2,000. Most days, I advocate consuming fewer calories on a daily basis. So men should be consuming fewer than 2,500 calories most days. And the same for women, consuming fewer than 2,000 calories each day. Now, a treat meal is fine to kind of shock the system, to get out of that survival mode. And sometimes your body can try and hold on to existing fat because it's freaking out and it thinks you're in survival mode. But generally speaking, not consuming too many calories can be fantastic for autophagy. Because think about it. If you're eating too much or eating your usual amount, so 2,000 or 2,500 calories per day, your body's not going to freak out. There will not be any physical stress on your body. And if there isn't that physical stress, well, your body's just not going to eat its crap cells. You're not going to be dehydrated. You're going to be getting more than enough. You're going to be eating and drinking abundantly. And so your body simply won't enter autophagy. It just won't happen because you're not creating the physical stress that it demands to enter that phase. So you simply will not enter autophagy if you are consuming too many calories. So a caloric deficit is important. And along the same vein, we'll touch on keto. I personally adhere to a ketogenic diet. I think it's worthwhile experimenting. Speak to a professional as well. Don't just take my advice for it. In particular, I advocate a ketogenic lifestyle for people who aren't professionals, like professional athletes. People who don't have to lift insane amounts of weight for a living, like bodybuilders or certain athletes might benefit from keto. I know that's endomorphs, and I'm an endomorph. I put on mass like muscle and fat quite easily, which is a blessing and a curse, as you can imagine. I really advocate a ketogenic lifestyle, especially if you're an endomorph like myself, because it's invaluable. I've tried all kinds of different eating programs, and it's the best one for me. Your brain actually thrives on ketones rather than glucose. So I'll briefly talk about keto for a moment. So keto is all about having really between 70 to 90% fats on a daily basis. You're going to want to stay in keto, having really low amount of carbs on a daily basis, and having moderate amounts of protein. So what kind of fats are we talking? Really healthy fats are ideal, but fats in general really keep you in keto, to be fair. Some foods are, and fluids and substances would be things like olive oil. Think of your Mediterranean diet to an extent, to be fair. Olive oil, coconut oil is magnificent. for your skin and for your brain function. I like avocado oil. I consume bone broth, fantastic, highly nutritious as well. I have a lot of meats and like fish, like especially salmon, like oysters and seafood, and I do a lot of supplementation of omega-3s and krill oil for the DHA, which is magnificent for your brain. The best food you can give to your brain is DHA. Your brain doesn't naturally produce it, so you're going to want to consume it. Eggs, meats, chicken, if you're into bacon, if you're into red meats, take in moderation, to be fair, as well. Lot of dark leafy greens, lots of salads, lots of vegetables. But be careful, because some vegetables are higher in carbs than others. Be careful with your fruits, because most fruits turn into sugar, and that would kind of go against and oppose a ketogenic lifestyle. So I'm careful with my fruit intake. I have a lot of berries, especially blueberries, because they're wonderful for your brain function. I have a lot of seeds and nuts, especially walnuts, high in omega-3s. I have a lot of chia seeds, and I have a lot of pumpkin seeds, great in vitamin E. The best kind of nuts for a ketogenic lifestyle are macadamia nuts. Almonds are good, but high fiber content as well. So yeah, it is what it is. I like Brazil nuts because it's great for testosterone, but it's got a lot of calories, so I only have a couple a day. What else do we have? So lots of nuts, lots of seeds, lots of lean meats. I prefer lean meats, but I guess they're fats to an extent as well, so they still count. But that's really it. It's not too complicated. Just, be careful eating refined, highly processed foods. Stay away from breads and sugary cereals and muffins and sweets. It's going to throw you out to keto. That's not what you want. So I follow a ketogenic lifestyle. Now let's touch upon exercise. I mean, don't get me wrong. Going for a jog for an hour is good for you in many different ways. But really, the best kind of exercise for you is high intensity interval training. So that means sprinting for, say, 20-30 seconds, and then being static or taking it easy for the other 20-30 seconds. That's the ratio, really. You want to do that for as long as possible. Now, it can be physically sprinting, as in running, as fast as you can, or it could be sprinting in terms of swimming a couple of laps as fast as you can, and then taking it easy for 1 or 2 laps, or stopping completely. It could be doing, cycling in the same way, sprinting for 20-30 seconds, then being calm for 20-30 seconds. You could be doing boxing like a madman, or for 20-30 seconds, then taking it easy. But also resistance training to stimulate hypertrophy. Muscle mass is fantastic for increasing your metabolism, helping you lose fat. But it's also fantastic for autophagy, really, because the body freaks out. It's like, oh my God, you're lifting heavy weights. Oh my God, you're sprinting like a mad person. Like, this really triggers autophagy, as well as having numerous benefits for our health. And for our brain function. Yes, exercise improves our brain function, produces new neurons in our brain. Fantastic. Enabling us to come up with new thought patterns and becoming a better person, really. So exercise, prolonged stress on our mind, our bodies, are really harmful. In fact, excessive exercise and like overtraining and prolonged stress in terms of being worried about your finances, or being worried at your job, or being worried about relationships that you might have. Prolonged stress is deleterious to our health, and it does not support autophagy. But like acute short physical stress, such as when you go through high intensity interval training, or when you're doing explosive exercising and resistance training, that does support autophagy. So I definitely recommend those kinds of exercises for a multitude of different ways and reasons. So what's next? What else can support autophagy? You got something called citric bergamot fruit. Now, you can have it in a tea, or you can have it in terms of a supplement. And it's really, really good for our health in general, and it supports autophagy. So that now we're looking at the kind of things that we should be eating or drinking as a means of supporting autophagy. So we've got like citrus fruits, like I said, citrus bergamot fruit tea, magnificent. You've also got things like green tea. Maca green tea in its powder form is probably the best form of green tea, the most nutritious. And really, when we have green tea, we have it for the antioxidants, right? Obviously, it can give you a bit of a caffeine boost as well, improve your energy and your focus. But it's got a powerful antioxidant called EGCG. And this helps with brain function. It helps with memory. It helps with your learning ability. It's wonderful. It supports how your brain works, especially within the hippocampus in your brain. Really magnificent stuff. But it also increases the production of something called AMPK, like I outlined near the start. We need AMP and AMPK to be activated in order for the body to generate its own energy. And that's what green tea does. It also stimulates something called thermogenesis. So this is really the body heating itself up. And that increases our metabolism, helps us burn more calories when at rest, and these sort of things. It goes a long way over time. Small things turn into big things over time. So green tea is absolutely wonderful for our health and for stimulating autophagy. Now we move on to a couple of like spices and herbs. We've got ginger. Ginger is fantastic for our immunity, supports, and what's good for your heart is also good for your brain. And that's what ginger can do for us. But it's got an unusual ingredient called 6-shogal. Yep, I'm pretty sure you haven't heard that before. And this blocks something called AKT, which, just to make it really simple for us, it just turns off the process that would usually trigger the growth of cancerous cells. So the main reason why ginger supports autophagy is because it stops cancerous and dangerous cells from growing and proliferating. And it stops, harmful cells from harming other cells. Okay, and that's what we want. That's the exact opposite of autophagy. But ginger cuts these processes short. Okay, and therefore enables us to enter autophagy. It makes the stronger cells kill the weaker cells rather than the weaker cells being able to harm any stronger cells that we have within us, okay? As essentially being able to eliminate free radicals in our body. That's what we want. We want to reduce oxidative stress. I'll talk about that later. So green tea is wonderful. Ginger is wonderful for us. We'll look at another spice. We've got turmeric. And the active ingredient, the main ingredient in turmeric is curcumin. Again, curcumin activates AMPK, like I outlined earlier. This AMPK must be activated in order for us to enter autophagy. So that's what turmeric does. Again, what's good for autophagy is good for the brain. Everything I'm outlining, ginger, green tea, ketogenic lifestyle, high intensity training, sleeping well, fasting, all fantastic for brain function. So what's good for the heart is good for the brain. That's what we need to take from this podcast, guys. And turmeric helps to preserve memory. It helps a damaged brain. Turmeric can help us be smarter. So turmeric is one of the best things. I drink turmeric on a daily basis. I mix it. I have like this super autophagy drink. Hopefully I'll remember to say that in a minute. I'll tell you what my drink is. Stay tuned. I'll tell you what the magical drink is. Really, it's just about blending a few of these different ingredients together. But I'll tell you exactly what I do and how I make it taste good, because it probably won't taste good if you just have it on its own. And that moves me on to another unusual type of food. and it's reishi mushroom. That's right, reishi. Most mushrooms are good for you. Don't be too dodgy, I guess. But certain mushrooms can be good for our brain function. I forgot what that mushroom's called that they mix with coffee that can improve your brain function. It escapes me. But reishi mushroom is brilliant. It suppresses the potential growth of cancerous cells as well, like I outlined earlier when I was talking to you about ginger and so on and so forth. So it thus supports AMPK as well. Fantastic. I have it in a powder form. All right, I'm going to spill the beans, metaphorically speaking. Beans are good for you as well, I guess, but hey, suppresses your appetite. And it's got good amounts of protein. Anyway, see what happens? I get so excited, I start going off on my own tangent. So this is my magic formula, guys. Every single day, you could use it to break a fast, I guess. I blend together a spoonful of reishi mushroom, a spoonful of turmeric, a spoonful of organic ginger, a spoonful of maca green tea, and you can even put some citrus bergamot supplement in there. You could open the tablet form. I can only find it in tablet form, so I just open it and blend it in there with the rest. I blend it with a natural sweetener called stevia. Stevia with a compound called inulin. Inulin is wonderful for our immunity as well. It's a very potent sugar. Really powerful. You don't need to add too much into it. But that's what I mix with this drink to make it taste better, to be honest, because as you can imagine, it's not the best tasting drink. But I mix it with water. Mix it with whatever you want, really. If you want, I like to put some cocoa in it because cocoa is fantastic for blood circulation. Cocoa or cacao powder, even better form. Wonderful amounts of magnesium, iron, and potassium in the body. Potassium is great for. You want a balanced amount of potassium in your body because it balances out the use of sodium. It can help you get rid of any water retention. See what I mean? I get a bit excited and I start talking about all kinds of different things. But that's my go-to move. That is the drink that I go to, guys. It's my autophagy drink, if you will. How geeky of me, I know. But damn, once you feel this way, I feel incredible. Most days, I feel amazing, especially if I'm sleeping well. Tremendous stuff, guys. Make you more productive, make you feel good, make you feel lighter. It makes you live longer, knock on wood. It just makes me happier. And the happier you are, the better you feel, guys, the better you do, the better you perform. Like, entering autophagy over time would increase your productivity, increase your ability to perform. Whether you're an artist or you're a speaker or you're a singer, whatever you do for a living, developing, and I'm going to make up this term, I'm going to coin it first time live, developing a autophagus lifestyle, that's not a real word, I just made it up, lifestyle, an autophagus lifestyle will truly enable you to be more successful in every way because you're going to learn better, you're going to think better, your brain will function better. You will have more energy, therefore you will take more action, you'll get more things done, you'll be able to create the kind of lifestyle you want. I mean, it's unbelievable, guys. I just don't understand why many people aren't talking about this. And that moves on to oxidative stress. So stress over time will kind of ruin your ability to activate autophagy because when we're stressed out, we tend to eat more unhealthily, we tend to overeat, we tend to not exercise, we tend to be too stressed out, which will ruin our sleeping schedule, make us sleep less when we're stressed out, maybe suffering from insomnia. When you're suffering from oxidative stress, or stress in general, you'll make worse decisions for yourself. You might not do the intermittent fasting or dry fasting because you're not mentally strong at that point in time. So oxidative stress is really the production of free radicals. The more free radicals we have, these are dangerous, harmful cells. And the more free radicals we produced because of entering oxidative stress, and I'll explain how this is done in a moment, but the more free radicals we have, the more harm we're going to do to other healthy cells. Because these free radicals, which are compromised cells, they bounce off other cells. They start to bully, if you will, healthy cells. So I like to think of it as a free radical is basically like a robber. Someone who has gone to steal. They've gone into another person's house, like a rich or healthy person's house. They've gone to steal their goods. And what happens is they take an electron. Free radicals take an electron from a healthy cell. And that ruins the DNA of the healthy cell. Therefore making it compromised, making it weaker. And this over time leads to too many free radicals, not enough healthy cells. And this leads to all kinds of diseases in the future. It leads to all kinds of mental issues as well, age-related illnesses. And it's really hard for us to benefit from autophagy if we are counteracting that process with oxidative stress. So by oxidative stress, I'm talking about, what am I talking about? Let's talk about emotional stress. Whenever you're grieving, lamenting, going through emotional turmoil, being depressed leads to free radicals. Being depressed actually counteracts autophagy. Being depressed actually ruins your brain function, makes you less intelligent. Oxidative stress, we're talking about air pollutants, negative toxins in the air. If you're in and amongst it, if you're breathing it in on a regular basis, which is why I don't like being underground, like in terms of traveling. I don't like using the underground too long because the air is not of good quality. Same thing for working in places that are filled with toxins, like the fumes that your cars let out. Like even when wildfires occur due to global warming, when wildfires happen, it releases like all kinds of dangerous toxins in the air, and we breathe this in, and it produces free radicals in our bodies. That leads to oxidative stress. It leads to negative chain reactions in our cells. What else have we got? What else? Oxidative stress, air pollutants, physical stress. Overtraining can lead to oxidative stress as well. A poor diet, eating too many carbs can lead to oxidative stress. A poor eating program, eating like cakes, things that boost your insulin resistance and spike your insulin resistance too much, like sugars, sugary drinks, even things like orange juice, sodas, energy drinks, all kinds of creams and breads and stuff like this over time can lead to lots of free radicals. What else do we have? I touched upon air pollutants. I'm forgetting so many things now. Damn it. Maybe I need to sleep longer. That was a joke, by the way. Not a funny one, apparently. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. From foods. Unhygienic foods. Damn it, what do they spray on crops and stuff? What are those things called? Damn it, escapes my mind. It will come to me in a bit. But whatever they spray on crops as well to deter insects, that's also unhealthy for us as humans as well. So make sure you wash your fruits and vegetables well. Don't have too many of those substances in and amongst the house. Don't use too many of those sprays in and amongst the house because we breathe it in. We absorb it as well, which leads to free radicals. Damn it, I'm so annoyed with myself not for remembering, but it is what it is. So poor sleep, lots of drama. These all produce oxidative stress in the body, financial stress, stress at work. All these kind of things produce free radicals in the body over time. And this counteracts autophagy. So, in summary, autophagy is what we should be aiming for. You can do it in a whole host of different ways. You can apply these things on a daily or weekly basis to really start getting the benefits from them. It's all about getting rid of our weaker cells. It's all about giving life to our strongest cells so that we become the best versions of ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, because you feel the better you feel in your life, the more joy and happiness you experience and peace you experience on a daily basis, the less fear you have. The less fear you have, the less stress you have. The less stress you have, the more control you feel in your life. The more you make better choices more often, because you are more balanced in terms of your neurotransmitters. The more balanced you are with how your brain works, the more you make more conscious choice, the more control you feel in your life. You partake in fewer negative addictions like overeating or gambling, or bad addictions like pornography addictions, or addictions to bad foods or illicit drugs, or medical drugs like illicit drugs for that matter as well. These sort of things drain us of our vital energy. It drains us of our focus. And really, autophagy is all about thinking coherently, making better choices for our health. I personally think that stimulating autophagy can improve our wealth, our health, our energy levels on a daily basis. You feel more in control in your life. You become more consistent. And I think that developing autophagy can enable us to better change our health. I don't think any real science has been done into it, but when I start to tie things together, I personally think autophagy can help to stimulate neurogenesis and what they call neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity enables the brain to restructure and rewire itself. Neurogenesis is all about creating new neurons in the brain. I genuinely think that autophagy will enable us to create new neurons, be able to change our thought patterns, thus change our emotions that we experience on a daily basis, thus change our behaviors over time, influencing our habits, our subconscious programs. And this changes our identity. It changes our personality. So I genuinely think if you utilize autophagy, you can become a better person. You can become a newer person as well. So that's just my philosophy. I really recommend it. If you appreciate the sort of things I'm sharing in this podcast, guys, you might want to get my book, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. You can get that at Amazon. You can also get it at my store, www.alexgemstore.com. Hook yourself up. I also recommend you going to my website at www.alexgem.com. Simply click where it says join PHS today. That's my advanced elite course. Simply enter your credit card details. You'll gain instant access to my mind-blowing elite course. The power system, taking you wherever you are in your life now, enabling you to achieve your maximum potential. It helps people to make more money. It helps people to be healthier. It develops people's self-esteem. We can become more confident. You know, this course helps people to sleep better. This course helps people to love themselves more. This course helps people to develop stronger, more quality relationships. It makes people believe that they can change their lives. It literally helps to rewire and restructure our brains. This structure has done a tremendous amount. People are losing weight. They're losing tons of weight. They're making more money. They're learning to. It's enabling them to take more choices, take calculated risks in their lives. Because you're not going to get better results in your life by doing the same sort of things over and over again, guys. So this course is elite. It can take you from being depressed to being happy within 30 days. Just apply it, go through the course, enjoy the bonuses. I've got 3 amazing bonuses included there. This is hours of exclusive video footage, podcast material, and hours of 100 audio segments to help you on track, to keep you doing the right things, to keep you being consistent. The whole package is worth well over $1,200, but I'm not selling it for anywhere near that. I genuinely want you to invest in me and trust me, because you deserve to trust in yourself. Invest in me and invest in your future. It's ridiculous the benefits that this gives people. And personally, through me, I've been mentored by some brilliant people in different industries. I've been studying neuroscience and psychology and studying wealth and happy people for the last 15 years. And I've condensed all this learning into this course. And you're literally getting 15 years of my life within just, something that you could learn for just a couple $100, really. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you can learn it within a week. Like, if you went crazy and immersed yourself in it, you could learn it in a week, or you can just learn it step by step, learn a segment every day, stay on track. You can learn it within a few weeks, and just keep revisiting the courses over and over again, guys. That's how you're going to change your subconscious programs and change your habits over time, change who you are, and get better results in your life, and take yourself to a whole new level, really. So get the course. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. Totally worth it, but go check it out for yourself. You might want to join me at the Power Mastermind, guys. I've created what's called the Power Mastermind. It's all about we're learning from the collective genius in the room. So I personally would love it if you came to work with me live. In close proximity. That's how you learn best and create more change, because of the emotional intensity of working with people live in front of you and developing close bonds and relationships with like-minded people. Like the activities and the worksheets we do at this course together, at this mastermind together, is absolutely mind-blowing. It is worth hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Like the activities are so in-depth and meticulous. I've learnt it from some of the best people. I've learnt it from billionaires. I've learnt it from myself, from experimenting, from what works, what doesn't work. I've learnt it through just trial and error in my own life and what I apply in my own life as well. And I've brought it together in a system, the power system. Taking you on a journey. There are 4 components. You've got the strength system, you've got the abundant action activator, you've got the fear facing formula, and you've got the power prioritization plan, where we bring it all together. It's an amazing system. Like, it's worth a few £100. It's incredible. Several $100. Really remarkable if you want to get the course version. So if you can't attend live, then I've turned it into a course where you can see me working with a live audience, doing the same activities and worksheets together, so you can learn from the people there who attended at that live thing. You can hear me tell stories and utilize neuroscience and psychology to explain the importance of these activities. And for each segment and each activity, you can actually see me complete these tasks, so you can better understand my life, my journey. And more importantly, you can understand how to complete these tasks, so you can get the most out of these tasks. It's absolutely astonishing. I'm only selling it for like a couple of $100, the course version, that is. An absolute no-brainer to get it as a course. But even more powerful if you come and work with me live for a day or two. We do a virtual version, so you can do it over Skype or for a Zoom call together, so we can see each other and learn from each other live. Or you can come work with me live physically at a hotel. I pay for it. I pay for the food. I pay for everything. You come enjoy, learn from one another, have one of the most life-changing experiences ever. You're going to love it. So go check it out again at my website. Go explore. Check out my videos, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Alex Gem. Type it in YouTube. Find whatever channel supports you best, whatever your needs are. Add me on Instagram at AlexGem_power. Add me there. Find my Facebook page, Power, Happiness and Success, PHS. Find my page, like it, join the group there. This is an elite group that's growing all the time. We share each other's ideas. We post new material. I'm there. It's just amazing to feel part of a group, part of people who are so loving, supportive, and so on and so forth. Go join us there. So proud to be part of your journey. Stay strong, guys. Love you all. Take care.